What happens when one of music's most outspoken stars sits down for what should have been a normal interview, only to end up defending her entire career against accusations she didn't see coming? The tension in the studio grew so heavy it could almost be felt through the screen. By the time it was over, the guest chair sat empty, and the cameras kept rolling on one of the most intense celebrity interviews of the year. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment, because this story only gets more unbelievable with each passing moment. The morning began like any other on the hit talk show, Today with Jenna and Friends. The studio buzzed with activity as crew members adjusted lighting and microphones. Host Jenna Martinez reviewed her cue cards one last time before greeting her guest. Teyana Taylor was set for a short segment to discuss her latest album, something that seemed like a simple promotional stop. But what started as a friendly chat would soon turn into a viral storm. "We're back with Today with Jenna and Friends, and I'm so excited to welcome Grammy-nominated singer, dancer, and actress Teyana Taylor," Jenna said with her usual bright smile. "Teyana, thank you for being here." Teyana smiled confidently as she took her seat. "Thanks for having me, Jenna. I'm happy to talk about the new music." "Before we get to that," Jenna began, her tone shifting slightly, "there's been a lot of talk online about your recent comments on R&B. Some think you were being a bit harsh toward other artists." Teyana's expression stayed calm, though her smile faded slightly. "I think people misunderstood. I've always been passionate about R&B. I want to see it grow and stay strong. If that comes across as criticism, maybe they're missing the full meaning." "But you did say," Jenna pressed, glancing down at her notes, "most of these girls today wouldn't know real R&B if it slapped them in the face." "That sounds a little harsh, doesn't it?" The room seemed to quiet as Teyana shifted in her chair. "That quote was taken out of context. I was asked about authenticity in R&B. I was talking about the industry in general, not specific people." "Well, let's talk about that," Jenna said, leaning forward. "Some might argue that your own approach to R&B isn't traditional. You mix genres, work with producers from outside the field. Isn't that similar to what the newer artists are doing?" Teyana's jaw tensed. "There's a big difference between evolution and abandonment. When I experiment, I still respect the roots of R&B. I don't just add vocals over a trap beat and call it R&B." "Interesting," Jenna said, her tone sharpening. "So, is this really about music integrity or maybe frustration? You've been around for a while. It must be hard seeing younger artists rise so fast." Teyana's eyes narrowed. "What exactly are you implying, Jenna?" "Well," Jenna continued, flipping her papers, "your last album didn't sell as well as expected. Meanwhile, artists you've criticized are topping charts. Isn't that frustrating?" The camera caught Teyana's face stiffening. "Are you suggesting I'm jealous?" she asked. "I'm saying it's natural for established artists to feel challenged by new talent," Jenna replied smoothly. "Threatened?" Teyana repeated, her voice edged with disbelief. "You think I'm threatened? By who?" "Let's take Summer Walker," Jenna said slowly. "Her album debuted at #1. Critics praise her for authentic R&B, the same thing you said is missing." Teyana's hands tightened on her chair arms. "I've never disrespected Summer. She's talented. But if you're trying to create fake drama for your show, that's not going to fly." "I'm just pointing out facts," Jenna replied with feigned innocence. "Summer, SZA, and Coco Jones are being celebrated for real R&B. Doesn't that challenge your claim?" Teyana leaned forward, her voice low but firm. "I've been doing this for years without tearing anyone down. I don't need to compete or compare to stay true to my art. Maybe you can't say the same right now." Jenna's expression faltered. "I'm only asking questions like any journalist should." "Journalist?" Teyana let out a dry laugh. "This feels like a setup, not an interview. You invited me here under false pretenses." "You made those comments," Jenna said defensively. "You opened this door." "No," Teyana shot back. "I gave an honest answer about the industry I care about. You twisted it into a jealousy story, that's on you." The studio had gone silent. Even the camera crew stopped moving. Jenna pushed forward. "If integrity is your goal, why didn't your last album reach higher on the charts? Summer Walker's did. So did SZA's. Are you seriously judging my art by chart numbers?" Teyana snapped. "Since when did Billboard define real talent?" "I'm not judging," Jenna said carefully. I'm wondering why, if your music is as authentic as you say, it isn't connecting the same way. It is connecting, Teyana countered, her voice sharp. I've sold out tours, I've got millions of fans. Just because I'm not overplayed on radio doesn't mean my music isn't reaching people. But don't all artists want mainstream success? Jenna asked. That was the final spark. Teyana stood abruptly, her chair sliding back. You know what? I'm done, gasps filled the room. I came here to talk about my art, not to be torn down for clicks. Teyana, please sit, Jenna said quickly. We're live. People want to hear your answers. Your people, Teyana laughed bitterly. The producer waved frantically behind the glass, signaling Jenna to calm things down, but she didn't stop. Walking out doesn't change the facts, Jenna insisted. Reality doesn't disappear just because you don't like the questions. Reality? Teyana echoed. The reality is you ambushed me with disrespect. Don't lecture me about professionalism. I'm not attacking you, Jenna said, her voice cracking slightly. I'm talking about your public statements. No, you're twisting them, Teyana snapped. You're trying to make me look bitter. That's not who I am. Jenna tried softening her tone. Maybe we misunderstood each other. I just want to hear your view of R&B today. My view? Teyana's laugh was humorless. My view is I've worked hard for years across music, film, fashion, and art, and you want to shrink all that into a jealousy headline? That's not what I meant, Jenna said weakly. That's exactly what you meant, Teyana fired back. You cherry-picked quotes to stir controversy. The air in the studio thickened. No one moved. Then Jenna made her biggest mistake. I think you're being overly sensitive, she said quietly. Teyana froze. Did you just call me overly sensitive? I think you're taking it more personally than intended, Jenna said nervously. More personally? Teyana's voice rose. You've questioned my art, my integrity, my worth, and now you're calling me sensitive? I was asking fair questions, Jenna tried to explain. Stop saying that, Teyana shouted. This was never fair. You brought me here to create a scene. The control room erupted with noise. Producers yelled into Jenna's earpiece, telling her to go to commercial. Teyana, please, Jenna said, her voice trembling. Can we just have a calm talk? Calm? Teyana repeated. After everything you just said? You humiliated me on live TV. You made those comments, Jenna argued. People can question them. Yes, but not like this, Teyana replied coldly. You ambushed me. That's not true, Jenna said weakly. It is, Teyana snapped. You lured me here with fake kindness. The audience began murmuring, some uncomfortable, others recording the chaos on their phones. Maybe we can reset, Jenna said, trying to recover. We can talk about your projects now. Teyana stared at her. Reset? You think we can just start over after that? It would be professional, Jenna said softly. Professional? Teyana repeated, laughing dryly. Professional is being honest and doing real research, not pulling cheap stunts for ratings. Jenna shifted uncomfortably. I did my research, she said quietly. No, Teyana said. You cherry-picked and twisted my words. That's not research, it's manipulation. The producer was now waving desperately for a commercial break. Let's just agree to disagree, Jenna said. No, Teyana said firmly. You need to admit this was wrong. You disrespected me for entertainment. That wasn't my intention, Jenna said. Intentions don't erase damage, Teyana shot back. You used me to boost your show. The audience murmured louder. Phones were up everywhere. Tay, please, Jenna pleaded. Let's finish properly. Finish this? Teyana repeated. You think I'll stay after that? I wasn't trying to ruin anything, Jenna said weakly. Then what do you call it? Teyana demanded. Because that's exactly what it looked like. Maybe we both said too much, Jenna tried. I meant every word, Teyana said coldly. And so did you. I defended myself. You attacked. The control room finally cut through. We need to go to break, Jenna said shakily. Perfect, Teyana replied. Now I can do what I should have done earlier. And what's that? Jenna asked. Leave, Teyana said, grabbing her purse. I came here to talk about art. You wanted conflict. I'm not giving you more. Teyana, we're live, Jenna said. You can't just walk off. "Watch me," Teyana said, walking toward the exit. This stopped being an interview a long time ago. Cameras followed as her heels echoed through the stunned studio. "Teyana, please!" Jenna called out. Teyana turned to the camera one last time. "To everyone watching, I came here with respect. I wanted to share my music. Instead, I was ambushed for entertainment. Artists deserve better. We deserve honesty and respect. When that's gone, the only right thing to do is walk away." With that, Teyana Taylor walked off set, leaving behind a silent audience, a shaken host, and a moment that would go down in talk show history. Jenna sat frozen, staring at the empty space where her guest had been. The cameras kept rolling as producers whispered in her ear, telling her to wrap it up. The interview meant to boost ratings had become a career disaster. Sometimes, walking away is the strongest move an artist can make. What do you think? Was Teyana right to stand up for herself? Or should she have stayed and finished the interview? Leave your thoughts below and subscribe for more real moments when stars refuse to play by the rules.